I'm actually not going to stay on long. I'm doing this very quickly. Because there are some really crazy things being written about twin rays and twin flames. I'm not even going to go into it too much because Andromeda, the flame, and I are going to do, it's going to be mostly Andromeda talking about what she's found out. And so I'm going to talk straight up about twin rays and twin flames, because once again, just got off and read an article that was shared on the Starseed group, that was shared with me, that I found, that I sent to Andromeda. And one of the, oh my God, I'm trying not to just blow my stack, to be honest with you. One of the things that they wrote was that twin rays are twin rays because they've been married before in past lives, and twin flames have only been married once. Like, some of the stuff people are like selling as knowledge, and it's actually eaten up like candy, is shocking. I want you to think about what is a cult. A cult can be one person or two or more who believe that their way is the only way, that their truth is the only truth. That's a cult. That will incite fear in you to do their bidding. That make you do things that aren't good for you ultimately. Anyone that makes you do anything is a sick puppy, okay? True spiritual teachers, I'm going to call them teachers. They will do speeches, talks. They will do one-on-one sessions with you and charge you for the fee for that hour, whatever the hell the fee is. They might offer you books and offer you other books. They might have a book themselves and they won't push it on you. It'll be, you can look at it or not. And that will be that. If they do a getaway weekend like Dr. Joe Dispenza or, a retreat, it's a retreat and that's it. So you go to Dr. Joe Dispenza or you go to another teacher for a retreat for 6 days or 5 days or 3 days. And they may have, books that they've, like with Joe Dispenza, obviously he's got books, right? It would be nice to get his signed copies, right? But no one's pushing a fucking thing on you. Okay? No one. Freddie Silva has his retreats up. Like right now he's having a retreat for 50, I forgot how many days, but I think it's 10 days. And he only has 15 spots. And it's going to be a lottery because he's that popular. And he will do 15 people. And that is fucking it. That's it. Or I think 20 people. And, it's a lottery and you'll pay your fee and you'll go to Egypt with him and you'll do your thing and you'll eat food and wine and you'll talk about all your experiences in Egypt. And then you'll all come, everyone will fly home. And that's it. Cults incite fear in their devotees. They will, in a cult, they'll make you marry people. They'll make you do things. They'll change the way you think. In a cult, they'll make you marry people. They'll make you do things. They'll change the way you think about yourself, and not in a good way. Let me put it that way. A retreat, you'll go, you'll pay your money, you'll meet the teacher and the facilitators. You'll have wonderful conversations. You'll be divinely guided by them as conduits, proxies to your healing. And then you'll fucking go home. And they're going to leave you the fuck alone. I'm sorry if I have to be blunt and I'm swearing. I better. Discern the difference between a cult and a teacher. And cults aren't teachers. And cults will make it sound like they're so amazing. Like you're shit, but they're amazing. They have all the answers. And they know everything, and you better listen to them or else you won't get your downloaded codes. And if you do what they say, they will go ahead and upgrade you for your ascension. No one can open your third eye. No one can really clean your chakras. You got Reiki masters who kick ass, and you got Reiki masters who are full of shit. You got people who've never been trained on healing, and yet were born with the healing kit tool set, if you will, to heal you, and they know what they're doing, and then they scoot you on your way. They don't call you, they don't harass you, they don't try to do anything. And they're not rich. You'll notice that the ones that are rich just made it, like Dr. Joseph, God bless his soul. Okay, thank God for fucking him. But Billy Carson, he's got books, they're expensive, it's self-published, no kidding, of course, and he should get that kind of money, okay, for his books. And you got other people that I'm right now, I'm going blank because I'm so emotionally triggered by these twin rays who are fakes, who are charlatan, and these twin flames who are charlatan. If a twin ray, supposed rake, they're very rare, okay? Very, very rare. And they're humble. Do you understand? They're humble. Twin rays are humble. Twin rays are shy, actually. It's probably the energy of what happened to Mary Magdalene and Yeshua, to Isis and Osiris, as an archetypal idea of what I'm saying. It wasn't safe to be that special. So they remember it. So let me go ahead and tell you what a twin ray is. A twin ray couple, divine couple, same sex, opposite sex, okay, have gone through massive shit in multiple incarnations. When I say multiple, I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of millions of incarnations on different planets, different dimensions, concurrent incarnations going, and so forth. And they have done the shit that you and I are still working on doing as twin flames. Do you get me? So they are beautiful souls, and they're very loving and kind and gentle to their training. Twin flames have had multiple incarnations, hundreds of thousands, if not millions. But the trouble is that sometimes it takes thousands of incarnations for the same lesson to eventually be passed. It's like somebody trying to pass the bar in law school. You heard of John, right? Failing, 3-4 times. You've heard of people not passing the bar, right? Because they just maybe nervous jitters, whatever, and they take it 10 times and finally they pass. You may have never heard that if you pass the bar in whatever state you're in, you don't even have to go to law school. Did you know that? You just study and pass the bar and you're in. But the point is, there are those people who can actually take the exam, never go to school for law, take the exam and pass it and become attorneys, right? I don't know if you guys knew that. I don't even think of it. I don't know if it's still a thing, but it was 5 years ago. You could do that. So you've got souls that are so advanced in their own right that they can skip school. There's certain schools they can skip and just take the test and boom, they wing it. But all of us as twin flames have been married, separated, lovers, unrequited love, all kinds of shit. We've done as much, probably as many incarnations as twin rays. I'm going to say it straight up. Except some of us still haven't learned our lessons, and twin rays have. Okay? When you're in a cult, they're going to act like they're the only ones that have the answers. When you are dealing with a teacher, they're going to tell you not just what they're teaching, but they're going to show you other sources to learn more. They're not gatekeepers of knowledge. They're going to say, these are my downloads, but I also love this guy, and I love this guy, and I love this person, I love this woman, and they're going to give you names. They're going to give you books. They're going to give you knowledge. A true teacher teaches not just their own downloads, but they also share source of knowledge. That's why I and people like me always give credit. When we remember, we go, oh yeah, and the credit goes to blah, blah, blah. Or we'll say, damn, I wish I could give credit to where that is. Or I wish I could remember where I first saw that. I can't. This is my download, meaning this originated from my crown chakra, meaning I don't mean me in this case, but anyone who's a teacher will say this originated from me. And they won't even say it. They'll say it's a download. I got this download, and it's really interesting as it coincides with the author of blah, 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 right? Or whatever. But I want you to really realize that the twin ray and twin flames are really being attacked massively. So all I can say is this, that there must have been something many of us are doing, or else we wouldn't be such a threat. We wouldn't be such a threat that articles are being written and they're picking charlatans. Now, on the karmic flipperoonie of, when are they going to get their karma? Well, here's the thing. These people are getting caught red-handed. The sad part is, and I don't know why this is, I can't wrap it's like, how many times, have you heard the comment, the saying, don't drink the Kool-Aid? Do many of you, do you guys remember where it came from? It came from Jim Jones, and you can look up Jim Jones, okay? And don't drink the Kool-Aid. Mooney was a cult. Osho, by the way, Osho was a cult. I hope you know that. Look it up. He was a cult. He controlled people. He controlled people through sex. People were giving him all their money, draining their accounts, selling their houses, giving him property. I was alive and I was a teenager watching the shit go down, watching my father going, what the fuck is wrong with people that they can't see the difference between a movement, a philosophy, and a cult, right? Cults can be very dangerous. Cults convince you to do things that you wouldn't normally do. Cults basically brainwash you. And when you find your teachers, right, because you will have shamans, teachers, the real good ones, right, the ones that are really, really, like, actually have a very healthy respect of, the concept of karma, for example. And the fact is that, like, for example, when somebody comes to me and finds me, I'm in awe. I'm so excited. I'm really excited. But I'm not going to sell them, $1,000 candles and tell them that the reason why they're in separation is because they have a curse and I need like $9,000 and then I'll remove the curse for you. Or, your chakras are blocked and I can heal you remotely and I'll go ahead and it's only $300 a day and I just need 9 days and we'll be fine and I can do that. There are people that do that and there are people paying that. There are people paying that. Good teachers teach you how to heal yourself. Good teachers want you to learn how to walk on your own. That's how good teachers are. They try to make sure that they see the meeting of you and them as a responsibility, a serious responsibility. And then there's some kind of divine soul contract. The divine meeting was set up for you and your teacher to meet. I'm going to use the word teacher for now, okay? And that's it. And they want the best for their quote unquote student. The best. Whatever that means. But ultimately, at the end of the day, when you're a good mother or good father or a good teacher, there's so much you can teach. And when your kid's like 18, 19, 20 years old, when your student has gone through many, many evolutions under the beautiful light of a teacher, a good teacher, both the student and the teacher will come to understand that now it's time to, vamos, It's time for the student, just like a young person goes to college or decides to travel the world or whatever, right? Where they'll meet other teachers, other shamans. I'm going to stay away from the word guru right now because so far I haven't seen any gurus worth talking to you about. Not any famous ones. I know of some that are not famous, very humble, very shy. Shit, they don't even take up the banner guru, but in my book, they are. But that's another show. But they stay under the banners. Most of us in the spiritual community who walk in integrity and moral values, at best you can call these people teachers, right? There's something you don't know that they know. There's certain things that you're gaslighting yourself on that good leaders, aka teachers, whatever you want to call them, are going to help you navigate through your own self-doubt. And then eventually the contract ends, kind of like a job, a marriage. You're not going to be 5 years old all your life. Eventually you're going to be 20. And that means that you're going to have a new set of conscious understanding of yourself and your place in the world, and you're going to want to explore further afield. It's normal. It's how it should be. Cults don't do that to you. They don't. And they suppress you with such fear that it's no different than some of the Orthodox religions, okay, that many of you have broken away from them. And so I'm only doing this live real quick because I'm trying to figure out a time that me and Andromeda can do a live on. And the timing has to happen. I want to advertise it. But we really need to go into the weeds, because honestly, I'm getting concerned. Because what I'm seeing is one article after another. And if you're in a twin flame journey in separation, God forbid your 3D twin sees these articles, which confirms that it's all bullshit. And that is purposely done. It is designed to do that. Because when a journalist is really a good journalist, they'll go and look for the twin flames that are in union, or twin rays that are in union. There's some wonderful content creators in union that both are using social media. Both of them are using their platforms, and they work together. They are in sync together, and they're known. Like, one of the guys, if any of these journalists had any sense, they would actually look and talk to Mel Brand's widow, for example, who was a twin ray. They would go and find other people who are either not in union or in union, but still working on refining the relationship with their twin, because not all twin flames counterparts want to be in the public eye, to be honest, and that's their prerogative, and it's their right of privacy. But some are. They work together, not as cultish, conniving charlatans, but as true healers. They are there to help the planet. They are there to help the collective. And I'm begging you, if you think that this video can help other people, I will post this. It's going to be a really short live. But if you feel like that this can help, then please, I'm begging you, look at what are the signs of a cult. Okay, what are the signs of a cult? Because the sign of a cult is there's always one that is the overlord and everyone else is a serf. Okay, it comes down to that. And this is why I have a trigger, a knee-jerk reaction to like Osho, because I was alive and young, very, very young, when I saw what he was doing to people and using sex as one of the little carrots and shit like that. And he's quoted Osho said this, and Osho, I'm like, the Osho was fucking full of shit. A lot of you gotta like understand, okay? Then you had Paramahansa Yogananda, who was actually a wonderful, wonderful yogi. And it was definitely not a cult. And if you've ever gone to the Self-Realization Center where they have speeches, there's no cultish shit about it. You go in, you listen to the talk, and you leave. That's it. If you want to donate a little bit of money, you do. If you don't, you're fine. There's no problem. No one's trying to incite you to, give away your ATM card and everything you own and lose everything you are and give away all your possessions, because or else you'll go to hell. Except instead of that, they're saying you won't ascend. If you work on your chakras, if you work on meditation, if you work on, chanting your monkey mind, the information that a teacher will give you, most of it is free. And yes, they charge you for the hour, and they should. Just like you get charged for the hour to see an attorney, and there are no attorneys that are cults. There are no plastic surgeons that are cults. There are no spiritualists, a hypnotherapist, a tarot reader, whatever. Should not be a cult either. There should be none of that energy. If there's a massive group of people meeting because it's a wonderful retreat and it's exciting and there's 2,000 people, kind of like, what would I describe it? I don't know, a small concert of people gathering for music, or Shakespeare on the lawn for 48 hours, or I'm making it up, okay? It's fine. It's a gathering of starseeds, a gathering of people who are bringing their drums and singing around a bonfire. And it's still not a cult, because when it's all said and done, they all go to their respective homes. They still connect because they become friends. And there's no issue. There's no issue. And the person that organized it, rightly so, got paid. Hello. Yes, if you're having a heart-centered business, you need to get paid. You have bills to pay. You're not walking on water. You're not an alchemist. You're not turning rocks into gold. Yeah, you're getting paid. But not to this insane shit that these cults are doing to people. I just read somewhere, and I'm not going to say more because I want Andromeda to talk about it. And one person gave a cult, okay, $500,000. One person, $500,000. Because they had put the fear of God in this person. The fear of God. How dare they? So please, please be careful. Please be careful. Just really look at, just look at all the ones I just, Billy Carson, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Jesus Christ, where are the other ones? I'm trying to remember some of the other ones. Because most of them have passed, sadly. Louise Hay, that would have been can't talk. A beautiful example, Louise Hay. If you don't know who Louise Hay is, you should, because she's what they call the queen of self-help. She started this whole concept of inner child healing and somatic healing and things of that nature. Reginald Ray, here's another one that's famous. Reginald Ray is not a cult. Who else is not a cult? Thomas Ashley Farran was not a cult. Michael Newton is not a cult. Michael Singer, if you've read his book, A Surrender Experiment, is a community. That's different. They all chose to live with him. He's not controlling them. He doesn't give a shit. He's flying on his jet plane. He's good. But they all live in Alashua. And there's two communities. There's Michael Singer's community. And it became a community even though he didn't want it. Okay? If you've ever read his book, you'll realize that. He didn't want it. Okay? It's just that everybody wanted to they all wanted what he had, which his vibe, his energy, what he was doing to the land. There's another community, it's called, it's the Krishna temple up there. And they do, They do kirtan, they do prasadam, which is they give away free food. I'm not joking, free food. And talks, spiritual talks on the Bhagavad Gita. It's not a cult, because you can leave whenever you want. You don't have to give them a fucking dime. You can go in. In fact, people do. They go in for 3 months because they need to. In fact, a lot of people who really don't have their shit together can actually go and for services, you get a free room and you can get your head, and then you can leave. You can leave 6 months later, 9 months later, a year later, 2 years. It doesn't matter. No one's keeping you. You don't owe them anything. So it's still not a cult. Cults are maniacal, and cults will make you feel like if you already have no self-respect or really have a hard time with self-worth, and if you're used to gaslighting yourself, if you've been the scapegoat, a cult is a dangerous place for you to be, because you will be further manipulated and torn down to such a point that you'll be devoid of yourself. You won't know how to find yourself again, okay? So it's a real concern, these cults. And usually it could be a masculine, feminine, or a masculine that heads them, typically, right? And they're very charismatic and magnetic, but that doesn't mean that you can have a wonderful teacher that isn't that. Look at some of the people Michael Newton, not Michael Singer. Michael Newton was a very beautiful looking, physically gorgeous, okay? But that doesn't mean that he had a cult. So look up on Google, what are the signs of a cult? And then you're good to go. But don't get seduced in a situation, okay? Try to keep yourself straight with your teachers, the people that you go to for knowledge that you don't have currently, that you will have eventually. It'll be, and then of course, the more knowledge you get, the more confidence you gain, the more spiritual work you do on your own. Did you get that? On your own? And sometimes you do go into temples because it feels good to go and chant with other people. It does. It feels fantastic. It feels good to eat with other people and talk about different philosophical ideas on very esoteric concepts. It feels good, But then you go home. You park your car in front of your house and no one's bothering you to sell your house to give them all the funds. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference. So you're going to be seeing articles more and more shows, more and more about how we are fucking fake, how we don't exist, how we are cultish. And I want you to know, and it sounds cultish to me, I almost feel like I'm saying this, and it feels kind of weird to me, because I feel like I shouldn't have to say it, but I'm going to say it. The cults that separated us from the divine masculine and divine feminine, where Orthodox religions with Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. Okay, let's talk about different cults that are accepted. So people that would say to another person, you can't marry a woman, you can't have children, you can't do this, you can't do that. And there's the Borgias as an example of doing absolutely whatever the fuck they wanted, okay? I mean, good example. In fact, the Borgias were so intense that The Prince by Machiavelli was written based on the Borgias. That's how bad they were. And we all know where they came from, right? We kind of have a clue. So whenever someone suppresses your freedom to express yourself in your highest light. Let me add this to make sure that you get it. Whenever someone's trying to suppress yourself from your highest light, then that's a problem, isn't it? And whenever, and I'm going to be very blunt with you, I'm sorry, I can't be diplomatic on this. I watch people, little girls and little boys, what I mean that is very young people, just like I was very young, in their 20s, sobbing or shaking, talking in front of, quote unquote, a guru. And they're asking a very heartfelt question about love. Love, monogamy, polyamory, desire, lust, betrayal, whatever. And they're very emotional about it. And if the guru starts laughing, like they come from a high place and it's so below them, oh, ha, ha, and they giggle or laugh, and then answer the question with a wise, I don't care if it's a wise answer, but if they preface it with a giggle or a laugh as if this is so below me, but okay, little boy, little girl, I'll answer your question. That kind of arrogance, yeah, that's bullshit. A person should be able to see themselves in that person. In other words, if somebody's in pain on something that you know you've lived, or you've seen somebody you love live, right? And you see it now, and you're 60 years old, or 70 years old, or 50 years old, whatever, and you see it. What I want to see from a guru is someone leaning in and walking the pain with them, remembering their own, and coming with the answer with massive compassion and gentleness and kindness and understanding. Like basically being empathic. That means feeling what they're feeling. And letting the downloads of real answers come for that particular human being, not something wise that anyone can gobble on like it's, like it's cake. No, something, because when you're really connected to source, you will get a download specifically for that person standing in front of you who's in pain, asking you for wisdom and comfort and a solution. And when I see these quote unquote gurus always laugh. I don't know why, but it never bothered me before. Like 10 years ago, it would have never bothered me. I just thought, whatever. Today, 2024, it bothers the shit out of me. Because to me, it is, again, this self-importance that's coming out, this puffing up of I am better than you. And a true teacher and a true guru would never do that. I don't think Buddha was sitting around laughing at his students when they asked him, very maybe immature questions or silly questions or questions he had heard 100,000 times. I would think that Buddha would have answered every single one as if he had heard the question the first time. I've watched Eckhart Tolle answer questions. I don't see that coming out of him. I watched Dr. Joe Dispenza answer questions. I never have seen that out of him. That giggle, that, oh my God, this is so below me, this question. And yet I've seen these supposed gurus. And I hope that you can relate to that in some aspect if you think back on some of these people that I'm not trying to bash. But I am trying to say to you that to me, when you are a teacher and when you've come to a high level of being a guru, right? A guru, not a gore, but a guru, then you are going to be very gentle, as if you would approach a feral child, a frightened child that has taken everything they had to stand up in front of a microphone and in front of all these people ask you a question on how they can fix their pain or confusion, which is causing them pain. You would think that they would be compassionate. I'm going to be blunt with you. When I do lives and I'm doing a talk about esoteric shit and someone says, well, is Billy Bob cheating on me? Or is Billy coming back to me? Yeah, I'm pissed off because and I'll tell you why. Because it's like, read the room. What are you doing? Ask me this. Do you understand? Are you hearing what I'm talking about? Does it sound like that kind of live? Does it sound? So on that point, when people like that come at me with that, yeah, I'm irritated, to be honest. I'm not going to denigrate them. I have taken the time to say, look, if you're going to ask such an intense, life-changing question, at least hire a good tarot reader or psychic or healer or something. But don't ask that very life-changing, because what if I gave you he's cheating on you, and then I go on with my conversation? Can you imagine? The right person, it could throw them off into massive depression. I mean, massive, where they might not be able to get off the floor for years, right? It could create a situation that's a domino effect. So I don't like it when people ask those questions. I don't understand why that's become a norm. I can understand where you would anonymously check on, say, a tarot reading that's for the collective, and it's not like you're asking questions because it's fucking anonymously done, right? It's the collective reading, right? It's pre-recorded, right? And then it's either going to resonate for you or not. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully you'll understand what I mean by when I say, but when somebody comes to me and says, my twin did this, or I'm hurting, or I have whatever the hell is heavy, I've stopped and answered the question. And people like Mel Brand, who was very tough, very stern, would answer the question. He would do a video. He would actually sometimes do videos on a question from a viewer, okay? But in terms of just doing like what I call street tarot readings, which is it has its place, okay? But you can't take it seriously. You know, when you do the yes and no you question, is Billy Bob cheating on me? Like a good reader, even publicly, even if it's a collective, one-on-one reading like they do, yeah, they shouldn't answer that question. They should say, I don't answer question about death, about cheating, about you should never. To me, that's a moral value situation where is that $25 really worth it, or whatever the hell you're paying. When you do, and this is why I belabored doing that, because I knew that there was something wrong with that. But I just wanted to address the elephant in the room, which is, you've seen me. If you follow me, you've seen me like literally say, please read the room. Or why? No. And I ignore the questions, right? Or I've put, I would literally say, why would you ask me that question on a live? I don't know your name. I haven't heard your voice. I don't know your date of birth. I can never answer that question, correctly. It's unfair to you. It's unfair to the person you're asking about. It's unfair to me, karmically. It's unfair. And it's throwing I'm sorry, I can't talk tonight. It's really late. The dynamics of my talk off track, because this is why I no longer look down when I do my talks now. I don't even look down. That's why I have to pause, scroll back up, and read what your comments out loud so we can share this conversation. That's one of the reasons why I just blank out, because it throws me off my loop. But when you look for a guru, right, you're going to find that they are humble, kind. They have an energy that actually feels so calming to you. It's like listening to high frequency music, except the hum is their energy. And you're going to feel super, super good inside your skin. And you could ask any question in the world. It would be like going to the temple and somebody's just done a talk on the Battle of Kurukshetra, or about reincarnation, or about taking one's life, right? And suddenly somebody pops up with a question, is Joe going to marry me? That's how absurd that is. No one would ever do that in a temple, right? No one would be so crass as to do that. So it's important, though, that when you go and have these experiences and you're looking for your answers, that you go in the right venues for those questions. Cults, no matter what, you will not be able to breathe. You will find that your friends will be concerned for your safety, as they should be. You will find that you're doing things that you're not raising yourself in frequency. You're not getting better. You're more confused and you're more scared. That's a cult, right? And so hopefully I'm going to start reading what you guys are saying, if you're saying anything at all, and then we'll go from there. Let me see. Okay, so no, what are your thoughts on the guides who rebrand true spiritual teaching as their own and sell them? I think they're assholes. I think it's theft. It's called plagiarism. In college, as you well know, right, they have a system where they can pick up who's plagiarized a paper, right? And you will get thrown out of college, university. Because in the old days, you could plagiarize anyone's paper and do it. But for someone to steal and not give credit, teachers like me, we give credit, we give book. I'm constantly giving out names of books, constantly. Okay, constantly. Because you have to. Because it's karma. Okay, it's karma. It's karma retribution. And out of your own sense of integrity, I'm an artist. I'm a writer, okay? I would want my words, my poetry to be credited to me. I'd want that. Just out of respect for the work I've done. And that goes vice versa. So the old saying, treat others as you would like to be treated, is probably one of the truest statements. So I feel that you need to look at and you can tell who's parroting. You can tell who's parroting, information, not knowledge, information, and who's getting downloads, and also sharing and giving proper credit to where they're sharing this from. Or the person can say, which I've done many, many times, I forgot who I found this out from, or I forgot where I learned this, or I forgot what I saw, but I wish I could give credit to them, but let's continue. I've done that, or I've done I've said Eckhart Tolle says this, or I've read in Practicing the Power of Now, or whatever, right? It's important to make an effort to do that. It's important because when you then say, I had a download, it's that much more powerful because now you're originating, and it's not, when I use the word originating, please take note, you're a conduit to new downloads that are important in this particular timeline we live in, that these new downloads would not have found a home of, frequency match, say 45, 50 years ago, even 150 years ago, right? But now, many teachers that walk the path of light and integrity will actually get downloads that are original. In other words, they've expanded on a concept that was, say, 200-300 years old, and now they have this original download that brings into a more aha moment for many in the collective who hear it, right? And that's very important. But you always want to make sure that people, because I actually listen to certain people on certain things, and I'll go, they just parroted the whole damn thing. And sometimes I actually know where they took it from. And they've given no credit. They're coming off like they came up with it. And for some of you who are voracious readers, especially on the spiritual journey, you'll know what I mean. You'll recognize those that have actually taken whole concepts and built their practice on it, So I feel pretty shitty about that. I think it's crap to do that to people. And good morning, my love. So guides who say that they download teaching that I've heard from other teachers, guides, thank you for answering. You're welcome. So I agree. Yeah. So ultimately, was that for my question? No, it wasn't. Apple, don't take it seriously. I didn't even know you asked any question. I don't even know what question you asked, to be honest with you. It's for any question. Let me look at, did you ask a question related to what I was saying? Let me see. Not at all for you. I didn't pinpoint anyone. I was just, because I do this. I get a lot of people asking me about, will Bill come to blah, 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 And I'm like, I don't answer those questions. Okay, if you want a proper reading, if anybody wants a proper reading, you book a session with me. If you wanted to see your doctor, if you wanted to get your teeth cleaned, you wouldn't just ask the dentist to do it for free, would you? You'd have to book a session with your dentist. I'm no different. None of the readers in the planet are different. The difference between some readers and other readers and psychics and so forth is that some of us do it with integrity because, we know the ramifications, not to mention to ourselves if we don't, and we do it out of love. And some actually, unfortunately, will take advantage of your vulnerability and your fear. Okay, I can't tell you how many clients have told me. I had one client in particular. He was told that to remove the curse he had between him and his wife, who he was trying to get back together again. Smart man. You would have thought he was a very smart man. He was very rich and had businesses and very successful. So he was no dummy. But he was told that for 12, I think it was 9 weeks or 12, I forgot what it was, but the sum was $900 a week. And he paid it. And then he came to me. And for $108, and he came to me twice, and I told him, yeah, we're good now. You're good. You don't need me. You're good. When you really need something, let me know. And he had all the answers he needed. That's the goal. Some clients come to me once a month, and they do a 2-hour session because that's what they need. And then they call me in a week or a month or 2 months, and we're back on, okay, let's do a pulse check. What's going on, right? And then I give them new ideas, new books, new things to look at, new homework, new this, new that, and they go. But to get real answers from any psychic reader, it's very difficult if a person doesn't even have a real name on the thing. This is why I do numerology on my lives, because you can't fuck that up. Numerology and life path numbers, you can't mess. It's math, hello, and it's energetic math, and it's karmic math, and it's, it's boons that are given to you as you're brought into this planet in this particular incarnation. And it's also challenges. And sometimes, yes, it's karmic payback. And it says in your numbers. So that is why, I belabor that. I can't tell you how many people, beautiful starseed buddies that I spoke to and said, I have to do something that is going to teach people things, but I'm also going to charge for that. It's a quick service. It's fun. We'll have fun and this and that. But I don't want to do anything that could harm anyone. And so life path numerology, me and a few people agreed that was the most benign, the most beautiful, the most truthful, the most honest way to go. Now, that's not to say don't do a $5 reading on does Jim love me? But just understand it's a carnival act. Don't take it seriously, okay? Because I've seen, unfortunately, I just had a reading today with a client, and her partner went to someone else, right? And went to someone who said, yeah, you'll marry a man. She wouldn't mind if I said, you'll marry a man and you'll have children with a man. And I said, well, let me ask you this. If this doesn't work out with her, will you be with a man? She goes, no. Will you ever be with a man? No. I go, so this reader downloaded from a past life. Sounds like to me. She goes, actually, that's what I was thinking. I go, yeah, well, that's what happened. She kind of crossed wires. And so the sad part is that now the partner is confused because she said, well, I guess we're not blah, blah, blah. No, you're still into women, right? You're not ever going to, no, I'm never going to go to the other camp. I'm not into men. I go, well, that'd be fucked if you guys don't make it, because she'll see you with another woman one day and then she'll go, shit, that psychic lied to me. So you got to use your common sense. You understand when you're across a reader, psychic, whatever. You got to ask yourself, wait, hang on. Does this resonate with who I know the person I'm with is all about and what they're into? And if the answer is, that doesn't sound right, it's a perfectly acceptable thing to say to someone, that doesn't sound right. She's definitely not into men. I think in this incarnation, she'll never be with men. Could you be downloading from a past life? It's like, and then the psychic would have said, I hope to God, oh, you know what? Let me tap, yeah, which would have been to save her face, right? So you got to be careful, in that aspect. You got to be careful because they will take you for a fucking ride. And the sad part now, thank you, my love, is that I appreciate that, Andromeda. Right now, you've got to find the right teachers. And if you can't right now, then maybe it means that you need to be reading books on Audible and meditating, commuting and journaling, and maybe asking your guides to teach you something or two or three, right? And then eventually you'll be attracted to somebody who you feel connected to, who feels good, if it resonates, the message is real. And then you'll book a session with them, right? You'll say, you know what? This feels good to me. This feels true to me. I trust this person. Let me book a session. Let me do, I don't know what I'm really doing this for, but I know I want more clarity. I want more spiritual coaching. I want to find out what my twin flame is, what is the energy, and so forth. And then at that point, hopefully you'll have enough heart coherence to discern if you're choosing the right person for you. Hopefully, I hope to God, because sometimes word of mouth is good. In fact, that's how I found my shamans, word of mouth. But sometimes you'll find your own. A person will be led to you, and it just will click into place, and it'll feel right, and that'll be that. It shouldn't be too difficult. Ask and you shall receive is the old saying, right? Let me see what else. Let me see. I'm not going to see how long I've got to go. Yes, I've seen some use that reset practice. It's not offensive to a genuine reader. Oh, thank you. Well, a genuine reader is going to tell you, because I've done this with a lot of clients, where they'll ask me a question, and I'll throw the cards, and I'll say, I'm not getting a reading. And then I'll throw clarifiers, and I'll go, fuck, I just got, and then boom, download. And sometimes I think that the universe, your guides, want to test you to see if you're still going to be authentic and honest. Because saying to a client, I don't know, I'm not going to make it up for you to entertain you, is better than making shit up. Okay? When you lie, white lie or otherwise, bad idea. Okay, very bad idea. You're better off saying, I don't know. And I've done that where even to a point where I didn't know, and a half hour later I got the down and said, you know what? They just told me what to tell you. I have the answer. And you go, boom, and it resonates with that person perfectly. Like they'll say, oh my God, yes. So no one walks on water in 3D, okay? At least not me, and certainly I would suspect 80% of us, if not more than that, walk on water, which means it's okay to not have all the answers. It's actually, listen, let me put it that way. I would prefer going to a psychic who said to me, I don't fucking have a clue, but once I can figure it out, I will find out, for you, and that will be that. Sorry, I'm trying to get something, but any questions on that? Any questions at all on that idea? In terms of, feeling comfortable with somebody literally telling you, I don't know. Yeah, can you imagine? So, let me see here. Anne, okay. Hi, Ian. Oh, you heard him. Oh, bloody hell. Okay, let's see. So, any questions at all? Let me see. Okay, so I've got 2 more videos to upload. Someone saying that they don't know is actually reassuring. To me, it is too. I think, we want to always feel like someone's got all the answers. And I understand that, yeah? But if you're having the human experience, you're filtering through the 3D brain. And honestly, that is so dense. And I was telling my dear friend here, that there are souls, and I'm sure you've heard of that, sentient being souls that will never incarnate in 3D, don't want to, they want nothing to do with it because they're afraid of losing their whole consciousness. Okay, the amnesia is real. So, yeah. I don't know why he's yelling like that. He's got a lot to say quite often. All right, what else can I tell you? So you guys know about cults now, right? I mean, I know you know, and I would think that the whole entire world would know the difference between a cult and a real guru, a real teacher. But apparently not, because these articles are coming out, and spirituality doesn't dumb you down, nor does it make you poor. Spirituality is not going to steal your money or force you to do shit that isn't good for you. True spirituality doesn't do any of these things. True spirituality makes you feel better, makes you feel more confident, more stronger, makes you eventually find your life path, makes you actually become a content creator. I'm really, really trying to push people who are really, really fantastic, but who are humble, to go on the stage in front of the world, because honestly, we've got too many charlatans and not enough wonderful leaders and teachers. I've said to many of my clients, reluctant leaders are the true leaders we need. We don't need brash, swaggering assholes that think they know everything. Okay? What we need are reluctant leaders, meaning people who said, damn, if I don't do shit, we're all going down the toilet. Okay? If I don't take over the wheel of this ship, we're going to be like the Titanic and hit the iceberg, right? It's a reluctant leader. It means it's somebody who would prefer not to, doesn't want to, would never, but at some point they're being pushed by other people. And also, because they are kind and loving and they want to heal the collective, they'll go, if I don't do something, we're all going down the drain. Okay? That's what you want to look for. Reluctant leaders, people who don't really want to, but they do it out of just pure fucking, like, if I don't do it, no, you know. So some of my clients are more than ready to start stepping it up. And we need, I've been saying this for fucking almost 2 years now, all hands on deck. And look, I didn't see articles like that this time last year. Okay? Now they're really, really pushing their agendas to make sure that you guys don't come into union. Many of you won't. I'm going to be very blunt with you. Some of you won't, because your twin flame just is hell bent on losing. But that's not everyone's story. There's still the last hour. And even if you come into union 2 months before one of you drops your body, that's still fantastic. But with that said, okay, as it is now, it was hard 3 years ago. It was hard 5 years ago for many of you. 20 years ago, 30 years ago for many of you. But what's interesting is that now suddenly they're finding all the assholes who are pushing and acting like they're twin rays and twin flames, and they are damaging the 3D runners that are running from a twin flame union. They're running because now they're seeing these articles and this thing, I thought your girlfriend said you were a twin flame, or I thought your guy was, and here's an article, man, they're full of shit, you know, and it's really massive propaganda to keep us bereft and in separation. So that's why some of my clients are stepping it up. I'm asking them, please get off your duff, stop putting all your ducks in a fucking row. They never stay in a row anyway. In real life, ducks don't stay in a row anyway. We all know that. And they disperse. And we need passion. We need irreverent dialogue. We need truth. We need people to come out of the closet and go, yeah, I remember my past lives in other planets. And I remember when me and my twin were first separated on another planet. And here's how it went down. I'm actually going to come out of the closet myself soon to tell you about how I remembered our separation. Okay? I wrote a short story about it. I mean, it wasn't so much a short story. It was more like I wrote it down, right? It looks like a short story, but I wrote it down. And I basically didn't do any edits whatsoever, because it was just to make sure I didn't miss one fucking detail of this message download visions that I got. And that was it, you know, and I've kept it pretty much under wraps, because most of the shit that you and I have gone through on other realms, other planets, as different sentient beings, I'd say 85% of the population would never believe it's real. That's the sad part. Would not, but I'm starting to realize that we're not catering to that. What we're doing is catering to the 15% who do and would believe it, and who would look at it and go, oh my God, I thought I was crazy. I thought I was crazy because I have something similar that happened to me, and I thought I was crazy. So now this person's just come out of the closet about remembering a past life on another planet where the separation first began, or another dimension, if not planet. And I thought I was crazy to think that that was the beginning of my separation. For example, that's why I did those videos on Atlantis. For some of us, we were already in a twin flame runner chaser type of weird thing, maybe in union, but we were still having problems during Atlantis. Some of you were twin rays and fell to becoming twin flames during Atlantis. But there were some of us that we had our problems way before Atlantis was ever established, to be honest. So, and then Atlantis was just more shit to deal with, more guilt, more self-loathing, more feeling of failure, the whole bit, all that fun emotions that we all collectively have and individually have here and there. So, let me see what else. And here we go again. Okay. Reluctant leaders aren't there for power. They're there for the good of the collective. Yes, the twin ray cult makes me sick. Taking something so beautiful and turning into that. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to thank you all. I got to get ready. Tomorrow's a big day for me. And I hope it is a beautiful start of your weekend. I really am excited to do that. Thank you, love. Thanks, Andromeda. But honestly, I think that I'm going to upload 2 more videos to tomorrow. And this video I'll upload so you guys can talk about it. I really would like you to share this one on the cult thing with whoever that could benefit from that, because they're really trying to put the fear of God in you about your experience. They really are trying to gaslight you to whatever shaky grounds you're walking upon in your fear that you may not be in a twin flame journey. Some of you are not. Some of you should actually find out once and for all. Some of you already know. Like you take your next breath. And some of you are in obsession, It's an unrequited love loop that's going on. That is a loop. I'm being very straight up with you. I'd say I'm very lucky in that 80% of my clients that come to me are starseeds. Many of them are twin flames. 20% or 20 to 30%, it depends on the month, are not twin flames. They're high level soulmates, or it's a loop, okay, of unrequited love. Some of my clients aren't even in a twin flame journey at all in this thing. In fact, they don't give a shit about the twin flame journey. They're starseeds and they want to know what's up, what they're supposed to do, what their mission is, where they're going, what's going on, and so forth. Okay? So you gotta kind of be honest with yourself and look at your situation. And I have posted so many I think I must have, I don't know if I'm being honest about this. I'm not sure I think at least 500 videos on my profile page. 500 videos of the twin flame journey. And at some point, you should be able to more or less figure out whether or not you really are. Does that make sense? And I'm certainly not the queen bee of all twin flame stories. That's for damn sure. But I've had my experiences. I've worked with clients for years, so I kind of have a clue. There are other wonderful content creators that also have good, non-parroting, original downloads of their own that are very valid. Please, if you're hearing different content creators saying the same shit, they're fucking parroting other people's content. Some of the stuff I've heard creators say, I heard in 2014, 2015. And I know for a fact they weren't doing this then. And they were hearing it from people I actually know, right? I actually know their work because I used to follow some of these people that I no longer follow because they're gone or they died or they no longer have their pages up. This is why I don't follow them anymore. And also because I've come to the end of the line for me in terms of me and my twin. We're together, and it's been a very, very rough ride. The rough ride for us in numerology is when I and I'm sharing this with you personally, when I combine my number with his number, my life path it comes out to 16, which is the tower. And that's been exactly that. And I'm hoping that even from the last moment, the last breath, the last hour, it turns, the 16 tower turns into 7 journey. The journey into something that's, wonders of the seven wonders of the world, that kind of thing. Something more expansive and beautiful. I won't say seven chakras because we now have nine, okay? So I'm not going to say that anymore. But in the old days, yeah, it would have been the seven chakras, an alignment, the journey. But I have to say that our karma together was really, really, really massive challenge. And there's something innocent blooming out of that, no mud, no lotus, right? So it looks like I'm seeing the first bud of a lotus between me and my twin. And I didn't think I'd ever see it in this incarnation. I really did not think I would see it. And I was okay with that. But I am. So that means that the impossible is possible. Always. Always. But you never wait for the twin to wake up. You can't. It will destroy you. I've seen too many. I have a dear friend, my Doc Holiday. It destroyed her. Completely destroyed her physically, emotionally. Waiting. She waited for damn near 15 years. Okay? I've seen women and men destroyed. Don't do that. That is a cult. You would be a cult of your own making. You'd be the cult of one. The one person, you. A cult waiting for your twin or else. So you're basically telling the universe, it's either this or nothing. I don't live my life. I don't do my mission. I don't get shit done. Okay? And you can't do that. You should never do that. And in surrendering to divine timing for you, for your twin, hopefully, I am very confident for many of you, you will have what you want. But part of the price is the mission. And when you come and become awakened by your own hands, you're opening your third eye by your own efforts, my friends. You don't go to someone to open your third eye, okay? At all. Because you're no one but you can open your third eye. Spirituality is not like going to a chiropractor where they come in and they adjust your neck, your spine, and crack your hips. Okay, this is not it. Okay, this is not chiropractic medicine. This is spirituality. So no one can actually open your third eye. You do your work. You work on your chakras every day. And you do all the stuff that me and Andromeda talk about all the time, constantly. You do it every day. You never miss a day. If you miss one, you don't miss two. Let's just put it that way. And your third eye opens. It just does. Some of you were born with an open third eye, as many of us were who are doing this kind of work. And then some, your third eye will open. No doubt about it. In other words, action. Reaction. There's always a result to everything you do. You plant a seed, you water it every day, something should grow. The apple, the orange tree, whatever, something's going to grow out of that seed. Okay? So whatever you do, whatever efforts in the spiritual path, and you've got a protocol that you follow every day, your third eye will open. But if your third eye opens and your root chakra is still clogged up, right? You're not going to trust what comes out of your third eye. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's a whole thing. Now, do you go see a Reiki master to get your energies, to clear some stuff, some gunk? Sure. But do you really need someone to give you a bath every day? No, you give yourself a bath every day. So going and having chakra work is fine. It's like going to the hairdressers to get a trim or a haircut. Could you cut your own hair? Of course you could. But you wash your hair yourself, right? You wash and you take a shower yourself, right? Okay, so with the same concept, then what you're doing is you're adding more body work, more this. So you're getting a massage from someone else because you can't really massage yourself to that level of relaxation. You're getting your hair cut because it's going to look better if you do. But ultimately, you can actually work on your own chakras yourself, and you should. You should get into the habit of, as you brush your teeth every day, you wash your body every day. You should be working on your chakras every single day. And when you feel stuck and you feel overwhelmed, you should try to ground yourself in nature. But if you feel overwhelmed by a loss, a confusion that's massive, then yeah, it's good to go see a Reiki master. It's actually also good to have a massage, a full body massage, especially if you're in separation and you're celibate. Yeah, you should get yourself maybe a Reiki master / who's also got a masseuse license, so you can get some massive fucking, healing. I mean, if I were you, that's what I would do. So I want you to think about everything I've talked about how to find your guru, how to find a good teacher and teachers, because there are going to be teachers that come to you at certain times of your life. At 30 it's that teacher, at 40 it's this teacher, at 50 it's the other teacher. It's that kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with it. But like, try not to get hustled. And I'm going to end this live with the following. If anyone contacts you and says they're me and that I am offering you a reading, okay, right? It's not me. I don't contact people offering them readings. Please, I've said this again and again. I have been remiss in not saying that after every of my live, because I'm sick of saying it, because I figure you guys must know I'm not going to hustle you for $50 or 20, whatever the hell they're doing. But again, my son was approached on TikTok for a reading. Sadly, the poor saps didn't know that was my son they were contacting for a reading, so that's kind of funny. But be careful. I'm never going to contact you for a reading. You have to contact me. You have to go on my profile, go on my Linktree, go on my website, fill out the intake form, and I will call you. I just had somebody call me regarding hypnotherapy. Contact me, and I will be calling them. But if you want a twin flame reading, a starseed coaching, or whatever, however, or Akashik reading, then that's how you contact me. I will not contact you and bullshit you and go, I love your vibe, I just thought you were amazing, and I want to do a reading for you. No, that ain't me. That's somebody trying to shiest you. Yes, look after your vessel and your soul. We are in bodies which need nurturing. Absolutely. And when you are not taking care of your body, which happened to me, to be honest, it was because grief. Grief will do that. And grief of separation, grief of death, you got to try to, if I didn't have the work that I was doing, which is the working on my chakras and meditating every day and chanting, I would not be alive today. I'll tell you that right now. I would have not survived the dark night of the soul. There's no way I would have made it. Okay? But still, it took its toll, because the journey sometimes lasts a long time. Okay, and my journey with challenges has not abated. I'm still massively being challenged, and what I find is that I work with clients, and working with clients, helping someone else be happy heals a part of me that needs more healing. Meaning, I get a benefit from helping clients. It makes me happy to see other people happy. What personally is happening to me with my twin and his illness is completely devastating, honestly, because we finally got to a place of union, and now we're being challenged by something else that's massive, but at the same time, it keeps me off my own issues. I remember when my son was diagnosed, when he was 4.5, one of the things I was doing was art, and that's when I did the breast cancer book. The pillow book for breast cancers. For some reason, and this is why I tell clients, if you're hurting, help other people. Helping other people, completely opposing what you're dealing with. Let's say you're dealing with autism or cancer or whatever the hell you're dealing. Help other people in any capacity you can. Through your art, through your blogging, through your vlogging, through a speech, through supporting someone who's going through something that maybe you can't even relate to, but you're empathic enough to feel it. Help people. And that's going to help you heal. I remember when I did that is when I learned that helping other people was probably the best thing you could do. And it is. It really is. Doing spiritual work is the best medicine for all of us. I remember when my mom passed, I'll never forget, I began my my hypnotherapy classes, like literally the following day. And, a lot of people were like blown away because I was grieving. Don't get me wrong, because, But what I found is that I would have never healed as quickly as I did had I not been with a group of people that were so loving and nurturing and supporting me. And I was going through hypnotherapy, because it was part of the training that helped me make peace with a lot of things with her passing, right? So I found that sometimes grief comes and shows itself in different ways. And the way you heal grief can be very unconventional, but yet very potent. You know what I mean? When my husband died, I went to an LBL practitioner, Life Between Lives, to do a hypnotherapy, and that was massively healing. So I'm a big proponent of hypnotherapy to rewire the way you think, and the looping that goes on with any level of grief. Grief has many faces and has many causes. It's not just the death of someone. It could be someone leaving you, dark night of the soul with the twin flame, right? It could be you trying to find a purpose in your life and you feeling like this shit show called, Earth and the infrastructure isn't going to work, and you need to find a reason to get out of bed. There was a very concerning article that came out, and I wish I could give it credit, that said that 75% of women literally got out of bed. In other words, did not unaliven themselves because they had children. That was the reason why they kept on living. That's quite intense to know that way too many women are unhappy. But what's keeping them alive is their child, right? That's why they're taking, steps to make sure that they do everything they can for their children. And they would never destroy their children's lives by unaliving themselves. Again, my least favorite word on the planet. And so it's very important that you realize that whatever grief you're going through, you're not alone. There's no shame in asking for help. There's no shame in telling someone. And if you find yourself telling someone who doesn't understand you, a person shouldn't have to understand why you're grieving. It's enough to say, I'm in a massive depression. It's enough to say. It's not because, your hairdresser colored your hair pink. That's not going to put you in a dark night of the soul. That will piss you off, make you sad. Maybe, you'll be wearing hats for, a few months, but it's not going to destroy you. Whereas you cannot be ashamed to share what's happening to you. And this is one of the reasons why Andromeda and I are going to start doing Zooms again. We're going to go back on that. And we're going to offer classes, because in that, hopefully, you will meet starseeds. I just got off the phone with a client who said, I could not live. In other words, I turned around to a client. I said to my client, can I exchange phone numbers with you? You're both twin flames. You're both starseeds. You're both going through a shit show of stuff. Could you support each other? They've become very, very good friends. And she said, I don't think I could survive without him. They're platonic, obviously, right? Right? Okay. So she couldn't thank me enough. This is the second time she thanked me. Because now she's finally finding, like she said, I don't have to explain shit to him, because he knows all the signs, all the things that go on between, he knows. And all I have to do is tell him he can totally relate to everything I'm saying. That was like the best thing I've heard all year. That made me feel so good, because that's what we're trying to do, is build a community. And that means that you need to step up and make an effort to reach out. If I give you a phone number of someone, they've given permission for me to give you a phone number. If you're one of my clients, please call the damn number. You never know what's going to be shared with you from this person on the other line, sorry, I can't talk again, other end of the phone. You never know. It could be the answer you've been waiting for your entire life on a particular matter that you'd forgotten was important to you. It could be that this is a soul contract and you have free will. You can refuse it, right? You can totally refuse it. But please make the effort to exchange numbers with starseeds. Don't just keep doing this on your own. You can't. It's going to take a lot longer for you to get to a place of stability and healing and groundedness so you can go on to your mission. Just don't be ashamed. We've all been there. Believe me, you are definitely one of the twin flames queen bees. There are a few who speak the truth. Oh, you're so sweet. Yes, look after your vessel. Let me see. Yes, so any other questions or comments before I go? Any other comments? All right. I want to send you much love. Please go on my link tree. Please look at the Atlantis one. Okay, the one on the live I did on Atlantis. Please check that out. And the one on Atlantis is about how none of the twin flames are looking at that particular link to separation, which is shocking to me. I would think you'd want to look at every single theory about what caused the separation. Because if you think your problem lies in this incarnation, you're sadly mistaken. It is part of it, but it's not the entire story at all. It's a very small drop of the entire ocean on that particular reason. And I would think that you'd want to know what started it all, right? So with that said, sending you much love on your journey. Namaste, be well.